I was having a lot of fun tonight just playing Sims 3. I haven't done this since 4 came out like 6 years ago, so I'm rusty. So many things came back to me, and some of those things really stood out as fun and distinctly different. Whether create a style or the color wheel itself, the opportunity for customizing the look of something in your Sims house is endless. I mean, do you see what I just did to that lamp? I don't even have time for this level of customization. I swear this technology existing in 2009 yet somehow being impossible due to performance issues in 2020 makes very little sense to me. Yes, I know some of you look back on Sims 3 and hate how slow it could be, but technology has come really far in that time. Sims 3 could only use 2 gigs of memory and like 3 processor cores, and they managed to make this work with an open world. I'm sure many of you will relate. I was really surprised how happy it made me to see a Sim just eat food. No stopping and acting for the camera to express how good it is. You're wasting valuable time. If I stop and stare at the sky thanking God for my curry after every bite, my curry is going to get cold. This Sim just eats when I want him to eat. And he does it fast unless he's having a meal with someone. Another thing in that same area is that things get done faster. The game knows I don't want to queue up 25+ interactions to get social up and make friends. My Sim can chat on the phone and feel social super fast. It really feels like the game cares that I'm doing what I want to with my Sim's life, while needs and the routine take less of that time. There's so many things to do, and it wants me to be doing those things. There's a 4th speed button in Sims 3, and what it does is automatically hit the brakes when your Sim is done with the activity. So you can get done with the boring stuff and no time won't fly by when they're done. Next up, just this. It doesn't look amazing, but it's functional. There must be something with the engine that prevents this or makes it more difficult to do now. Skills are next. Based on this one, I'm going to get another couple hundred hours out of Sims 3, I think. Just to give you an example, sculpting is a somewhat bland skill that lets you make stuff to sell, think like fabrication and eco-lifestyle. But here's the thing, if I choose to pursue sculpting, I can not only gain 10 levels, I can start work right away on challenges for that skill that are in the skill journal. This gives some opportunity for you to feel like you're formulating a strategy, not just getting inspired and repeatedly making random stuff. Level 10 is not the end. In line with what I was talking about with sculpting, if I want to make real money with that skill, I need to become a professional and practice the trade. I'm going to make okay money at first, but I won't be bringing in big dough until I get some of those challenges completed. I started this game planning to become a jockey and ended up sculpting. I can't just jump headfirst into horses without cheating, and I like that. My chef is working toward his dream of owning horses and picked up a hobby for some side cash. The fact that my path went into an unexpected area just because I came across some scrap metal is something I really enjoy. Know what else I enjoy? Likes. If you don't mind throwing me one if you're enjoying this video. Next up, I don't miss emotions at all. I spend so much time managing them that I've just burned out on even caring. Brushing my Sim's teeth boosts his overall positive mood and is not something I do just because I want to be confident. It helps his hygiene and makes him feel taken care of. This also means there are many paths toward happiness instead of doing the same things to make sure my Sim is in the optimal mood. And that mood is much less unstable. The Sims 3 is not a hard game, but it does require you to find your footing in the early game. It doesn't think you're stupid, and it knows you'll figure it out eventually. Powerful perks will not just be handed to you, you'll work a bit for them by playing the game. There's a huge opportunity for you to learn to do things better over time and feel satisfied. The game knows you've spent $500 and might want to actually play a game the way that it's meant to be played. Oh my god, does this game do collecting well. Yes, things do kind of spawn in predictable places in some cases, but I love the fact that the collection journal shows you so much detailed information. Back in my Sims 3 guide writing days, I'd called collecting itself a skill because of all this. It's really neat that you get rewards and abilities for accomplishing things, even in collecting. Not only that, this game keeps track of nearly everything, and it's really cool to find out what dish my sim has cooked the most. It also keeps track of how many times you've cooked a dish, for example, and gives you more experience with that dish. Next is something I noticed about simple, plain old rabbit hole careers, is that there's a bit more thinking going into it. Because it's not a simple be this skill level, you actually feel like your sim is working a bit for promotions, and certain strategies can get you there faster than others. Just the work tones menu has more going on. Sims 4 does have these, they just don't feel as meaningful because a Sim's relationship with their boss and co-workers, whoever those are, well, it doesn't matter. It's totally relevant and realistic while providing a bit more depth to gameplay to have those relationships matter and even matter outside work. My sim makes real friends at work. Sims 3 doesn't have the same type of multitasking that Sims 4 does. If you eat with other Sims, you don't need to queue socials to really benefit from it. The chat interaction they do when nothing else is queued actually does something. It raises relationship, improves social need, and lets you kill two birds with one stone every bit as much as you might hope. I admit it took me a while to pay attention to these because I was so overwhelmed, but wishes are really well done. You can promise them, sort of like pinning a whim in Sims 4, but the goals are more fleshed out. I'm not getting wishes to do random socials on a sim unless I've recently talked to them. It's more like, I recently took up sculpting, I'd like to improve at sculpting. These are goals, not the more random whims. There are fewer stupid ideas in the deck and more milestone goals you may wish to promise to your sim. These give enough points to direct your gameplay. Like, you know they're having an impact if you pursue them. They aren't all that way, but they're good. Something I noticed in retrospect, talking to my friend about this, she mentioned she never has to fight her sims. She's right. Over the course of a few hours, my sim did everything he was told when he was told. Not one interaction dropped out of the queue, and he didn't stand there doing nothing while the clock ticks. He also didn't stall to play animations. It's much more responsive and satisfying. You can hate Sims 3 for its loading screens and rabbit holes all you want, but I can get a lot done with that one longer loading screen, even with every expansion installed. Yes, it can be a bit rough if you do not have an SSD and all expansions. Most people on laptops do have SSDs now, and many on desktops have access. I can't deny it's rough without one, but it's taking good advantage of modern hardware to pull this all into memory and keep it there instead of reloading anytime I want to go to the park or go fishing outside of a tiny neighborhood, so I don't miss it. Gardening and fishing are two of the most popular skills in any Sims game, so it makes sense to me to single them out and point out that nearly everything is better. Gardening takes work, but it's rewarding. Fishing lets you use bait that actually matters. You learning the baits for a catfish really does help you to catch a catfish. Fishing spots are also less random. My sim was at work and I saw a sim in labor outside and had to stop and gawk at it. Sims in this world are not just scenery to con me into the idea something is happening in their lives. They do have simulated lives and you can kind of follow them about it. This comes at a performance cost, but it makes the world much more realistic if you choose to use story progression. I can ride a friggin' unicorn if I want to in this game. I can buy a bad car and work up to a nice one and break the speed limit all the way to work. Look, the normal ones go the speed limit too, so that's what's really happening here. Your sim becomes a rich douche that thinks they can do 60 and a 40, but I like it. Next thing is money. Not only was I roughing it a bit in Sims 3, there is a massive gap in wealth and ability between a new sim and an established one. Not only is it possible to buy expensive cars that let you break the speed limit without repercussions, you can also purchase entire businesses that allow you to slowly snowball your wealth. Something builders will like is you can actually decorate some of these businesses and see Sims using them if you have the right packs. I encountered a few stutters playing Sims 3, but all in all, it was a great experience. And I'm definitely going back to my save game before I cheated a unicorn into it. Let me know what you think of it. Has playing 4 changed how you feel about 3? And leave me a like if you enjoyed the video. Have a great day.